and here we are in Paris. You just came back from
Premier Vision after Dido.
Yeah,
yeah,
did
amazing.
you like Dido?
Oh my god, I thought that was really amazing. I've only looked at it in, obviously, the black and white work. I'd never seen the colour work.
I still like the black and white better.
But the colour's good.
It was
It's good, because I sat through and I saw all the black and whites, and then I was like, wow, the colour was really great, so I was really happy. But I only went after I saw your poem.
That
Yeah.
makes me happy. It was really fun. And
Yeah.
I met him in Tokyo.
Cool.
So, enough about Dido.
Dido.
Let's talk about your crystals and your whole concept in this.
So the crystals, so I started with the crystals because I'd been travelling London and Paris, and I just thought this is like too much, and like people must get exhausted travelling, and like what can you do about it? So I took a break from fashion, and then I just started researching crystals. I think crystals found me, I would say. Pre-crystals, I would have been like, no. And then all of a sudden I just woke up and I was like, I need rose quartz.
Really?
It just came, and then I was like, where can I get rose quartz from? So I thought, Camden. I'm going to go to Camden and find rose quartz. And I arrived, and they had like Hanuman, Ganesh, carved in rose quartz, and I thought, this is not what I want. I want the crystals. And then I found this place in Covent Garden, and then I was just like, wow, let me just get a rose quartz. And I took a rose quartz home, and I didn't even know what to do with this crystal, but I just felt having the crystal made me feel something. And then one crystal became 2 crystals, 2, 3, and it just multiplied, and then researching what crystals do, and then sleeping with crystals, I thought, like, the dreams that you have when you're with crystals, it's obvious. Like the pull, and certain crystals you can't dream with because it's like heavy dreams. And then I just started working which ones worked with me, and then I found black tourmaline, and with black tourmaline it just cemented it. I thought, this is definitely something here. And then I started researching more and finding out why crystals work and how crystals work, and I thought, like, it makes sense. And because crystals are in their perfect state, they've reached the level of entropy that is so, the form that they've reached over millions of years, they're not going to change. So when you're with a crystal, you have resonance. Either you're going to change or the crystal's going to change, and as we know, the crystal's not going to change. You're going to have to change your vibration, and you start to harmonize, and you start to feel this feeling, I think, with the crystal, and it becomes not just an object. I think for me, I think crystals are like a fast track to meditation. They're almost like a mobile phone to like getting you somewhere, or like a path that you feel. All of a sudden you've got this crystal, and then you just feel a certain way, and you have the crystal all day. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could wear crystals, but nobody knew about it? So it was just your thing, as opposed to like having crystals around your neck or something obvious. I thought it'd be nice if only you knew what was going on. And then I started working with like different types of crystals, and then I thought, how could I apply this to clothing, and what would be the best way and best form to do it? So that took the longest, finding someone to print the crystals and to apply the crystals, and then also to find crystals that would work with clothing, crystals that had to be pretty strong, like especially with denim, because obviously how you wear denim, it's quite robust, and so the crystals would have to be quite robust. And then I found lapis lazuli, and lapis lazuli for denim and to be worn around the waist, for me it was just like, it all made sense, because lapis, what it does is it works with your second chakra, which is your sense of sensuality and how you experience things, and the feeling of, do I deserve this, and should I be enjoying this? And this then activates your 5th chakra, which is your throat chakra. Once you can feel something, you can express how you feel. You can't express something that you don't feel, and if you allow yourself to have this feeling, you can express that, and by expressing it, you start to move into where you should be going in your life. And for me, it was like, that's such a nice way to introduce crystals through clothing. blue, denim is blue, and it's water, it's the sky, and it's travelled so much through history, this crystal, and it's gone through so, like, from obviously from Afghanistan to through Italy, and having this thing, it was like, yes, this is the first crystal to use. And then I found the people in Portugal who liked the idea, and they thought, okay, we can make this, and it's just been a journey, I think, of finding people.
Did you like test it out to see if the crystals, like in the waistband of people, how they react?
So I had to obviously find people to road test it, and everyone has more or less come back with a positive result and said, yeah, they feel something, they feel happy. Some are quite amazing stories I've had, like this guy, he fell asleep with the jeans, and then he went for a job and he got the job, and he's put it down to the jeans. I think obviously he got the job, but he was like, oh my god, I wore the jeans for the job interview and I got the job. And it's nice because I think he's put his belief into the jeans, and the jeans have kind of reciprocated that feeling. And for me, it's like, I think it's where clothing should be going. I think you wear these garments and you could be eating really healthy food, but your skin, being the largest organ of your body, absorbs everything from your clothing more than your food, and it goes directly into your system. So it would be a good idea to wear clothing that is not just ethically made, but it's produced with love and care, and people have put the right things into the clothing, and then you will get that into your system, and as opposed to just going for cheap things just because it looks good, because obviously there's a price to pay for everything. And I think if you slow it down and just buy something like a pair of jeans that you know that you're going to wear for a long time, and then you'll start to see this relationship build. And I think with denim, people do tend to have a relationship more so than any other item of clothing. And also they hold this memory with denim. And denim, I think, holds a different place in humanity as well because of indigo. It's such an old form of dyeing, and the weave is really like a simple, honest weave. And yeah, I think it's been a learning process for me, more so than designing and making a product. I think it's finding people that have understood the philosophy behind the jeans as well, more so. And I think another aspect is it's not just the crystals, there's also using copper hardware. And the reason for using copper is because it's your body has an electromagnetic field, and copper pulls energy towards wherever it's placed, and people tend to use it on their wrists for rebalancing their electromagnetic field, because copper is super conductive, and it's also a really pure metal. And having it around your second chakra, it brings the energy to that particular area, where I think a lot of people tend to be quite stiff and hold things. And I think anything to help open up that area and for people to start to find a way of accepting what they are, I think is a good thing.
That's great. And there's like, it's in the belt, but it's in other places, like in the jacket.
So I think, so for the t-shirt, I placed it on your meridian points, like your channels. The prints are in circles because circles represent complete and whole. And I placed them on areas that people tend to have their stress points, which would be around the front collarbone channel, and then your adrenal gland points, and then the 2 points that run down the body, and then also at the back of the on the top backs, where people tend to hold stress. I think by putting the print in those areas, it starts to activate the heat from when your body heat, and it turns the body heat into fine infrared, and that's when it starts to penetrate back into the body and then reinvigorate the membrane, and that's how it kind of then helps oxygenate, I suppose.
And like, how many people did you test this on?
First it was me. I was the first guinea pig, and then I wore it for 6 months, and I was like, okay, this is working for me. And then it was tested with a few friends. I think in total like 5 people, 5 guys, and different types of guys that I thought, this guy I thought could do with it for this reason. And I tried to pick, and I always try to think, okay, this I think would work with this person, because now I have white jade. And white jade works a completely different part of the body. It works the 3rd and 4th, which is your confidence, and your heart, which is love, and it kind of brings this sense of serenity, to feel that you... I think like the 2 types of people that I kind of thought, there was one type which is someone who isn't doing what they should be doing and tends to hold their ambition in, and for them I thought lapis lazuli would be good. Another type of person is someone who's probably more aggressive in getting what they want because they don't feel satisfied. So for them, I think white jade just lets them know that they are complete, regardless, and then everything is an illusion. And so if you feel contentment within this part of yourself, you can kind of slow down and be just as forward thinking, but not appear so hungry. And those were the 2 kind of angles. I mean, there's more. There's other types of crystals that I want to introduce, like malachite. And malachite, I think, is a really good crystal for feeling the sense of inner wealth. And inner wealth is love. And knowing that everything can manifest through love, and an eventuality of experiencing this love is essentially, I think, what we should be really thinking. And I think a lot of people tend to even hold something which is love, which is free, as if it costs the earth. And it costs nothing to give love, but yet it's a commodity that people are really saving up and waiting to just give one person or just a few people. But if you know this feeling of malachite, which is the green of wealth, it just shows you that actually just keep on giving, because there's so much more through you that's coming. And there's other stones like amber. Amber I really want to use, but I can't because it's such a fragile stone, or even clear quartz, because something like clear quartz can really magnify something. It can really put clarity onto something, but because it's fragile, I wouldn't want to use a stone that could break. Because obviously, for me personally, that has significance. For someone else, it may not have any significance. So I try to use stones or research stones that I feel could be worn on the body and are low maintenance. But yet, I was explaining to a friend yesterday how he needs to activate the crystals on the jeans, and if it's a sunny day, to put the jeans out so they recharge with the sun. And he was like, wow, it's quite a commitment, these jeans. And I think it's nice. I think you're like, why shouldn't clothes be that high maintenance? I think, you know, there's something that a part of your life on a daily basis, and sometimes they also need care. And if you stop seeing it as just an object and start seeing it as something more, it can only give more of itself to you. And for me, I've started, well, for me, I don't see clothes just as clothing, but I see them as part of something that you are using to enhance yourself. So why not reciprocate that back to the product?
How much of the crystals is actually in the cloth?
So the crystal, I mean, you have 2 discs, which are 2 18mm discs on the back spine area, and then the printed crystal works out covering your whole pelvis from the front pockets, the back pockets, and then the crotch underneath. So it works about 50% coverage, which is enough to trap the heat that your body produces and then reflect it back. And then on the prints, it's quite difficult to apply to jersey because it absorbs. So it's not too much, but just placed at points, almost like acupoints, where you would have an acu needle. It would be around those areas. So some are smaller, some are bigger, and there's significance, but you don't even need to know the significance, because by it having significance, it will do what it needs to do, regardless of if you believe in it or not. The truth is the truth. So
That's great. The truth is the truth.
Truth is the truth.
It's a good ending. And can you buy it online?
yeah, I've got a website,
What's the address?
blackmarket.com,
BLAAK.
market.com.
Great.